Guys, it's Mike and Mruwat here with Team Mruwat at eXp Realty, and today joining me is Jonathan at Thrive Insurance. So Jonathan, I certainly appreciate you joining us on the call today. So many different aspects of a real estate transaction, and one of the most important aspects is insurance. So Jonathan, if you don't mind touching on how much coverage should a buyer be looking for when they are purchasing their first home?
Absolutely. So one of the most important things to remember when you're purchasing a home is that the amount of insurance you need is not necessarily going to be the same as the purchase price or the market value of the house. Because when your house, in the event that your house might be destroyed, the insurance company is going to have to rebuild it, right? So when they rebuild it, they're going to be rebuilding a brand new house. So you need to be sure and insure your house for enough to rebuild a brand new one, rather than the current market value, because an insurance company can't build you a used house. They have to build you a brand new one, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. And that actually leads into my next question is there's often a lot of confusion between replacement value and actual cash policies. So if you can touch on maybe the pros and cons of each.
Absolutely. So actual cash value is something that you should really only get if you absolutely have to. Okay, you want to try to get replacement cost coverage if at all possible. Now, sometimes it's necessary to get cash value coverage if you just need to have it, or there are no other options available in certain circumstances. But for the most part, replacement cost is what you want to go with. And the difference is simple. With replacement cost, the insurance company is going to pay out the full amount you need minus your deductible. Okay, versus with cash value, they're going to be essentially paying out a depreciated amount based on the age and the wear of your property. So imagine that a big hailstorm comes through and you need a new roof. And the insurance company says it's going to be about $10,000 to replace this roof. Well, if you have a replacement cost policy, then what they're going to do is cut you a check for $10,000 minus your deductible. So say if you have a $2,000 deductible, that would be an $8,000 check. If the amount is, say, if you have a cash value policy, they're going to pay out that $10,000 minus depreciation for the age of your roof, and then minus your deductible. So say if it's a $10,000 amount, minus $3,000 depreciation, and then minus $2,000 for your deductible, you could be getting a $5,000 check for that $10,000 roof.
Awesome. That was certainly a great example. Often as a realtor, we have certain things that we look for, but I would certainly like to hear maybe some advice from you on what buyers should look for, prior to purchasing a home, actually during their home search process.
So with a couple of important things to be looking for that are going to help you out on your insurance. First of all, newer homes are always going to be less expensive on insurance. But if you are buying an older home, you want to look for updates. You want to look for a house with a new roof. Because that'll affect the type of policy that your home qualifies for. You want to look for other structural updates, things like updated plumbing, updated electrical, with 3-prong outlets, with a breaker box instead of fuses, that type of thing. You want to look for a house that's had good structural updates, within the last, 10 to 20 years.
Now, what about for those that there's not a new roof? Can they call you up and see if the roof is insurable before they close?
Absolutely. So I always recommend checking with me or whoever you're going to do your insurance with at least 3 or 4 weeks in advance prior to closing, because we like to have everything to your realtor and to your lender at least 2 weeks before closing. So if you have any questions about the age of the roof, about whether the house is insurable, feel free to get in touch with me or whoever you're going to do your insurance through. And I always recommend doing that a good 3 or 4 weeks in advance.
One of my last questions is kind of a two-part question. Number one, do you have any additional advice for our home buyers? And then also explaining the differences actually with your company at Thrive, where you're able to broker, and looking for various companies that best fit.
So, an obvious piece of advice that I would give is find yourself a good realtor, because that obviously makes a big difference. But to be honest, I've seen so many crazy situations in a home buying process that I never would have imagined. And the only time I've ever seen those things go smoothly is when a good realtor was involved. So be sure, folks, that you find yourself a good realtor that can help navigate those waters for you. Other than that, when it comes to the house, like I said, just keep in mind the things that I mentioned when it comes to updates, and be sure the house has been maintained well. When it comes to Thrive Insurance, the way that we do things is a little bit different. We genuinely believe that there is a better way to do insurance than what you've probably experienced. And with us, it's just a matter of building a relationship with our clients first and foremost, because we want to have a long-term relationship with the people that we work with. We have about 18 different insurance carriers that we represent. So, rather than you having to pick up the phone and call about 18 different insurance companies to find out who's going to be the best fit for you, just spend some time on the phone with me, and I can do the legwork for you. I can talk to those insurance carriers for you, help you find the best fit, and call you back and make a recommendation.
Awesome. And no, I did not ask Jonathan for that realtor plug.
But it's the truth. It really is.
Yes, it very much is. Real estate transactions are so complex that you definitely want to make sure that you're hiring a professional team, which is going to include, your realtor, your title company, your insurance agent, and your lender. So thank you so much, Jonathan, for joining us today. Feel free to reach out to Jonathan or myself if you have any additional questions. Jonathan, how can they reach you?
How can you reach me? You can call me. Call 405-446-8226. That's my direct line. Or by email, which is jonathan@thrive.insurance.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for joining us.
My pleasure.